Hey guys, long time no see. It's Paul from Paul Fixes Stuff. Just wanted to walk you through changing a couple of bathroom faucets. We've been in our house about 14 years now, and the builder grade faucets are just falling apart. We've fixed almost all of them in the house except for a couple, so we're going to take care of those today. It's pretty easy, but we're going to pull the sinks out so we can replace the drain assembly and the faucet. So I'll walk you through that right now. Check this out. This is the first sink here. It's a double vanity, and my son's got his product and stuff up there. So this pop-up drain is, this one works fine, but you can see that there's a drip. And no matter how hard you tighten these are just crappy faucets, unfortunately. They're meant to sell the home and be functional for a little while, but that's it. And over here, the pin down underneath the sink that holds the pop up here actually snapped off. So this pulled right out, and now we're gonna fix it with something different. It's a sink from Price Pfister that I found. Oh, there it goes. And it's just a pop up. You push the drain and it pops up, kind of like the old bathtub faucets. So we won't have to deal with the whole pin. So also these undermount sinks here, I'm gonna pull them out and recaulk everything in here so that we have a nice clean bead. After 14 years, things tend to degrade a little bit, and we want to make sure that that's all working well. So we'll get started. Alright, first thing that we're going to need to do is disconnect. Well, actually the first thing is we are going to turn off the water. That's the hot water, and that's the cold water. So hot's normally on the left, cold's normally on the right. At least in our house, that's the way it is. So these are cheap builder grade angle stops. And all you do to turn the water off is you just pull on them. And hope they don't break. So now the water should be off. And Kobe's gonna turn the water on up top just to make sure it's off. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our adjustable wrench and take off this nut here so we can pull out the pipe that goes to the P-trap. And the P-trap is what holds water. If you don't know how that works, this little turn right here, and you'll have to excuse the filming because it's kind of cramped underneath the sink. But this little turn right here that comes down, it traps the water in here, so sewer gas doesn't back up from the sewer and come back up through your sink. So there's a water barrier that traps the sewer gas from coming back up. That's why there's that P-trap here. And if you know what the P stands for in P-trap, let me know. I have no idea. So after we take that nut off for the drain, we'll move into taking the sink off, which is just held on by some caulking and these tabs here with a Phillips screw. So there's 4 of them around the sink. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So first things first, let's get going with this. Once you break the initial seal, you might be able to loosen it up by hand. And then we'll pop off this metal washer here. And then the rubber gasket after that. All right, so actually, you know, what we're gonna have to do is disassemble this down to the P-trap to get that out. So we'll take off this.
lefty-loosey, you gotta remember that. And then there's a polyferrule washer in here where this nut attaches to the P-trap. We just move that up. And then we'll get this taken care of, and then we'll remove it from the top. Alright, so I got that brass nut loose right there. Unfortunately, that's nasty, a little bit of hair hanging down there. Unfortunately, it's now stuck, and I think I'm gonna have to get a reciprocating saw and just cut it there, because the new sink has all this hardware included. So I think I'm gonna do that, and I haven't convinced myself that I really want to take off the whole sink bowl yet. It does make it easier to get back to those fittings back there, but I'm just not convinced I want to do all that yet. So I think what I'm going to do next is just disconnect the hot water and cold water hoses, and that's just this this nut right here. You just loosen that. Make sure you have a little drip pan nearby, or a bucket of some sort, a cup even, just to catch the water, because there is residual water in these lines. And there's probably more than you think that can fit in there. So I'll take those off, and I'll see if I can pop out the handles for the sink. If not, I'll probably take the whole bowl out. I was just looking at the caulking from when the house was built, and it's not bad, it'd be better, but we'll see what happens. I'll keep you in the loop. Okay, here it is. There's the sink, the old sink. Oh, my finger's in there, sorry. All right, a couple burnt out light bulbs. There's those fixtures that'll be super easy to get to now. So what we'll have to do is apply a new bead of caulking to the top of the bowl, and then secure it and hold it up with those tabs. But we're gonna scrape the old caulking off. You can see a little bit of it there. I'll scrape that off, and I'll scrape any residue off the bowl itself. And while it's out, I'll bleach it and clean it and get it all nice and white again. See, you can really see how much room that I have now just to get to all these brass fittings right here. So I'm gonna loosen all those, and then we can pull out the faucet and the handles from the top, and that's our next step. All right, the sink is out. The old fixtures, the old faucet and handles are disassembled and out. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to clean this area here with some household cleaner, some bleach, try and get any of that yellowing off, because if the bell on the new handle is smaller, you're going to see all this around here. So I'm going to use some bleaching gel also. Once I get it cleaned off, I'll clean up a little more with some bleaching gel, let it sit for a couple hours, and see if we can pull all that yellow out. All right. So I've cleaned it with a bleach cleaner. You can still see that a little bit, pretty faint there, not so much there, but you can see it really heavily there. So I'm going to put the bleaching gel on it, and we'll leave it for a couple hours. Hopefully it will bleach out that stain. We'll take a look when we're done. So we bought this stuff off of Facebook. I'm not sure which way is up. I'm guessing this way's probably up. I don't know, actually, no, that way's up because the numbers. All right, so we bought this stuff off an ad off of Facebook, actually off of Amazon. And we used it in our shower last week. Man, it bleached out so many stains. So we had a little left over. That's what I've got on here. So we'll see what it looks like in a couple hours. So it's time to scrape all the caulking off the sink so I can get a good bare surface to re-caulk it. Need to clean that out.
just from excessive dripping over a long time. And then I'm gonna get the Sawzall and cut that off. So this is what I'm gonna be using to cut that metal drain pipe off. I really like this reciprocating saw from DeWalt because the blade, you can put it sideways or you can put it vertical. Right now for this, I'd rather have it horizontal so I can cut across and hold the tool upright. So anyway, just some DIY tools, good to have. So I got that drain pipe cut off, but look at that. That's where the holes in the front of the sink, they drain into the drain pipe. That's all plumber's putty that's been sitting in there for years. So I'm gonna fish all that out of there. It's disgusting. Anyway, I'm gonna take it all out of there, clean up all the surfaces so everything will adhere better. Okay, I just wiped the bleaching gel off. It made it a little bit lighter, but not too much, unfortunately. Hopefully the bell from the handle covers most of that. And I also cleaned up the sink over here and took a scraper and scraped all the old caulking off from there and from underneath the sink. And then I'll start assembling here in a second. Okay, I've hand tightened the two handles there, and so you can see this part here will run to the hot water supply, and this one here to the cold water supply, which are right here and right there. And then these two hoses will connect with this little Y piece to the bottom of the faucet. Actually, I'm dumb. How about like that? It'll connect to the faucet, and it's all color coded. So blue goes to blue, red goes to red, white goes to the faucet. So right now those are just hand tightened on there, and you gotta get down there and tighten them with the installation tool. So anyway, I'm gonna hand tighten this faucet, and I'll show you what that looks like hand tightened. All right, look at that. So I tightened the faucet pretty tight, and I gotta get underneath and tighten the hot and cold water handles from the bottom. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna connect all the water. Then I'll work on getting that sink bowl put back underneath. All right, all those water lines are hooked up now. Hopefully they're hooked up tightly. I used some heavy duty, let me get a light on there. Some heavy duty Teflon tape on those water lines. Tightened them as tight as I could without bending anything or breaking anything. Hopefully it'll work out. So we just get the handles on up here. And before we put the sink in, we'll give it a try. So we're gonna turn the faucet on. Hope that there's no water coming. Keep it going for a while. Alright.
Should I pour that down there?
Yeah, let's do it again. You just want to flush out anything. It might be cut up in there. Alright. So I'm gonna put the aerator back in, and then it will flow much better. Alright guys, there it is. It's all done. Just ran it. No water leaking anywhere. The one thing you want to do is don't use it don't use it for about 24 hours till this bead of caulking under here that's adhering to the bottom of the sink top and the top of the sink bowl. Just don't use it until that cures. Give it about 24 hours. So I'm going to wait to replace this one over here until after this one is done curing. But thanks for hanging out and watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.